for joining me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here myself. I was excited when you brought up the topic. I was like, this is what a lot of people need to hear, a lot of people need to be aware of, and also implement in their business. So I'm glad to be here as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So, for some of us that do not have any idea about blockchain, can you, in 1 minute, tell us what blockchain is about?
Okay, blockchain is simply a public ledger. Um, when we check back, people heard about blockchain from Bitcoin, a Chinese guy that nobody knows till today, Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009. However, blockchain dates back even earlier than that time. I can't remember the time and I cannot remember the exact person. The man was trying to find a way to ensure that um, records are taken publicly, and when taken, nobody can tamper with it. So the man made this encrypted ledger. So once you fill in the information, nobody can tamper with it, and yet everyone goes through it and can see it. So that was the idea that the guy that founded Bitcoin created. Bitcoin was more like the first introduction into the blockchain. And so, in summary, blockchain simply means a public ledger where records are kept. And in that public ledger, it is immutable. You cannot tamper with it. It is transparent. Everybody can see it. And also, it cannot be altered. Anything that is put into it cannot be changed. Okay, it's also similar to saying it's immutable as well. So basically, that's what the blockchain is.
Awesome, awesome. So I like the fact that we're able to simplify it because most times when we hear of blockchain, what comes to mind is Bitcoin. So that means Bitcoin is actually leveraging on blockchain, not that Bitcoin is exactly what blockchain is.
Exactly. So
Awesome.
I
And you
don't know if
also
I can.
mentioned that,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead, please.
So Bitcoin came as a currency that can be spent more like a token. However, the clear understanding for blockchain came when Ethereum, that's the more like the next cryptocurrency or the well-known cryptocurrency token after Bitcoin right now. It came to make us understand that under the blockchain, you can do several things. You can create programs under other programs in the blockchain. I don't know if that's simplified enough. So
Yes, yes, it does.
In essence, blockchain simply means chain of blocks. So there's a chain of information that are connected to different blocks, and then everybody has access to it. It cannot be broken, it cannot be tampered with it, and then it is transparent.
Awesome, awesome. You tagged yourself as #1 blockchain realty, which realtor rather, which is very profound. Now, I want you to tell us the backstory of how you stumbled on. We both know that this was not an idea that was, let's say, maybe you didn't conceive this idea 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So, what's the background story of how you just changed all of a sudden into blockchain
All
realty?
right, all right, all right. So can you still hear me? My network fluctuated.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I first started life on the blockchain. That's through cryptocurrency. That was in 2016 to a smart contract back then known as Cash Pool Pro. It was also the time of MMM and MMM United. You needed 0.03 Bitcoin back then, which was most maybe around 6,000 or 8,000 naira back then to join, and then bring bring two people. I didn't really understand what it was, but I saw it was a way of making money as in Nigeria. I joined and I made some money. In fact, I had one of the best Christmas because I didn't understand. I
Wow.
spent all the little bitcoins I made that Christmas. However, because of the volatility of the market and then life changes, going to NYC, network in that area like that, I forgot about it entirely. And after I was done with NYC, Um, I did a number of things, e-commerce. I worked in a factory, um, several things. But then when I started thinking of my life path, what I wanted to do long term, that was how I found myself in real estate. That was late 2020, 2021. But in between those times, I was still going in and out of the cryptocurrency space. And even while doing real estate, sometimes the market looks good. I buy some coins, I make some profits. Some of you may be aware of what they call a fake token, Luna, Shiba.
Yeah.
I made profits during the time of Memcoin as well. So, but I was very active in the real estate space, even all those times. Over time, I started to think that is there a way I could bring this um,
Yeah.
things that I love doing together and maybe use it to provide solutions for people. And I actually paid for a consultation session with my friend. Then he was known as the global tech boss. I had seen a number of consultations he had done and people giving like, oh, they got clarity like that. So he gave me the consultation at almost nothing because we were friends. I didn't have to pay the normal fee. So we had the conversation, and 10 minutes into the conversation, he talked about systems and design thinking, and that was how
Mm.
the light bulb came in that, oh,
Wow.
I can be like a bridge and focus my niche to be blockchain lovers and experts and enthusiasts. So anyone who wants to buy
Mm.
property in that space, I will provide it for them. And also, I could start finding ways that blockchain can be used to provide real estate solutions. So
Wow.
we know the aspect of fraud, yeah, we know the aspect of property demolitions, we know the aspect of
Mm-hmm.
um, long time
Fake
documentation.
transaction.
Yes, slow transactions. Thank you. That's the word. So I got to understand that if we could make blockchain the standard over the years, where number one, all title documents. I'm happy Lagos is in that. Lagos is on that part now of putting title documents on the blockchain. Although they have not fully gone deep into it, but they started on the path. If we can have all title documents on the blockchain, where before you buy a property, you can know, okay, this place is free of government acquisition, this
Mm.
place you can buy and build, people's mind will be at rest.
Mm-hmm.
Then, is there a way we could do a blockchain digitization system where immediately you buy your property, you don't have to wait weeks or even months to get your documents. You get it instantly, especially if you pay outright. You get your documents. Is there a way that immediately you buy your property, you get to even be, you know exactly where your block and plot number. There is no shifting. There is no
Mm.
fear of if I go tomorrow, it won't be available because everything is transparent. And so that is where we've actually created a software and we are optimizing it for these things I mentioned: instant allocation, instant documentation, transparency when you are buying properties and all.
Awesome.
So, yeah, basically that's how I started my journey
Awesome.
and
So,
got
so
here.
you made it look very simple and very straightforward, but I don't think people outside there feel that it's very straightforward. It looks very complex looking at it from outside. So, what do you think are the misconceptions around blockchain that you want to speak about?
Okay, so the misconception around blockchain. Most people see blockchain as get rich quick scheme or as a scam. They say they don't understand it, so let us not even engage in it. I know several real estate developers that will tell you anything blockchain I'm not doing. However, those same developers have trusted friends in the blockchain space that they give money to trade for them. I can give you, I
Mm.
can't mention names, but I know practical examples of what I'm talking about. So, yes, there are scams and the blockchain market is volatile. But just like every other industry, with the right knowledge, you are able to maximize returns or profits under the blockchain. It becomes simple once you have the right knowledge. So I would say go for
All right.
knowledge
So,
before you decide to come into blockchain.
Yeah. So talking about blockchain and businesses, is it really about, now we are talking about blockchain now, not Bitcoin. Is it really about trading or documentation?
Okay, so it's both. It's both. Um, when you have the fundamental understanding of what blockchain is, knowing that it's more like a public record. A ledger is a document where records are kept. So being that public record, it means that documentation is there. It helps documentation to be clearer, faster, and more transparent. However, there's a trading aspect where rather than using banks, in fact, the purpose of, like, let me not say blockchain, but the purpose of Bitcoin was more like people to not depend too much on banks anymore. You can be your own bank and be your own banker. Yeah, so there's the aspect of
Mm.
payments and trading as well.
Okay, so let's look at it from the perspective of small business owners. I'm a small business owner, especially for services, people that run services. I run service and you're telling me that I can use blockchain for my service. Take laundry, for example. How does it, can it work?
Okay, so yes, it can work in the question you just asked, both payments and documentation. How do you take your records of people who brought in clothes, people, the ones you've washed, you deliver to them? Do you have that full record that you can always pull out and see? That's the,
Mm.
I don't know, like
Yeah.
you have a record of all the clothes that this particular customer has brought to you over time. You have the record of how much they've done with your laundry over the years. Do you have that record?
Okay, so most times we use the traditional and digital method. Take record, input on system, keep the record, Excel and all those.
Okay, so but the advantage you have with blockchain is that although blockchain can be quite, um, should I use the word expensive or financially demanding to set up at the beginning stages, and even adoption, making people understand it, especially in this part of the world. But once it is gotten right, you get to enjoy it so much. You could set up a transparent system, maybe using Ethereum or maybe using Solana. There are several networks where your customer not just bring properties but get to see the records of what they brought to you, and at any time can trace, can record 5 shirts. I believe you are getting me. Um,
Yeah.
all the basically all the things that they brought and also how much they've paid. And this record will be available consistently over the years, right there on their own phone, while also on your own phone as well. But it takes knowledge and time and also money to implement and set up. Um, Let me digress. For example, agriculture, because I took my time to see if there are any African businesses doing what we are talking about right now. And I
Okay.
saw a northern, um, more like a northern agriculture company. They call them Bean Kabi. I don't know if anybody has gone through it, although they say not fully Nigeria. But what they do is they work with, they say blockchain based commodity training, like crops like maize and rice. They take the records, they handle the supply chain and also the distribution as well. So everybody gets to see the flow of that transaction.
Wow. So for a small business owner or for a medium business owner, is it possible to set up blockchain without needing an expert in um, tech or web development? Is there a template for
Okay.
it?
I would not say yes and I will not say no. If it's to take payments, receive and take payments, yes. Yes, you don't need the third party. You just need that basic knowledge of the wallets you download, the wallets your customer is using, and how you transfer and exchange currency. But to set it up in the way that we are talking about, like having that record ledger, yes, you will need someone who has good knowledge on setting up the blockchain.
Okay, so I'm seeing that to really take advantage of blockchain and everything it comes with, is that you have a big business or um, something huge in the future you want to plug it into because of the complexity and the financial demand. So I want you to speak to that. And I also want you to speak to are you advising small business owners to start plugging into blockchain now? Or what is your advice to them?
The answer obviously is yes. Yes. You can start small. That aspect of taking payments for countries like China, Korea, Singapore, with your if you have a blockchain wallet, that's more like your bank account when it comes to cryptocurrency. If you have a blockchain
Mm,
wallet, when someone comes to your shop, they can just with a code scan and pay instantly, no plenty conversations, and then you drop whatever you want to do as your for the service. Maybe it's laundry, maybe you want to buy a drink or a snack like that. So we can start small. Although I still believe just like every other technology, even the internet, um, the developing countries, especially in Africa, they are still trying to catch up. It will take some time for us to adopt here. But over time, we believe as years goes by, it will become the standard.
okay, so do you think that blockchain will still be very simplified to what you know, anybody can operate? Or do you think the complexity will keep improving or increasing?
I believe it will be simplified. When the internet started too, it was quite complex. When smartphones were coming in, it looked like it was only for the rich. Even MTN, I remember I was very young then. I'm not sure I was up to 10 when MTN came to Nigeria. To get a network, a SIM, was more than 2,000 or 3,000, if not more back then. Maybe 20 something thousand. But now everybody can just walk to an MTN store and buy for almost nothing. I believe that blockchain too will get to that point.
So talking about the SIM, I know of someone I lived with. He got his first SIM, MTN SIM, 35,000, and
Thank
that
you.
was about 15 years ago. And 15 years ago, 35,000 was a lot of money. It's
Lot
like talking
like
about getting a SIM for
350K
like
now. Yeah.
exactly right now. That was a huge amount, and he never wanted to lose that SIM because he knew when people are buying SIM now, they don't understand. When he talks about his
Yeah.
SIM that he bought for 35K, then it was a whole lot of money. So I believe it's going to be simplified to what everybody can use. But the fear is still that it's better I have my money in my bank where I can walk to and cry, arrest the people in charge, and they give me back my money, even if I don't get it completely. Now, people want to use blockchain that we don't know where the owner is, we don't know who can hold responsible. How do you think is the best way to address that fear?
Okay, so first is we understanding why the blockchain was created in the first place. And just like every other technology, it will always have its advantages and disadvantages. The purpose blockchain was created, it came in 2009, exactly after the global economic meltdown in 2008. That's the housing
Mm,
market crash. So that affected a lot of banks, a lot of people that had money in banks, basically their money was gone. And
yeah.
for blockchain or Bitcoin to be sustained to what it is now, whoever created it had to remain anonymous. And
Mm,
reason being that people have done things like Bitcoin before that time, and the government came after. They know it to be affecting banks, affecting what they call it, exchange rate and the likes. So for that same reason, he made it anonymous. And also, this person knows that people who will be using Bitcoin or blockchain over time will need that and is it is it let me not bite my tongue,
Anonymous, yeah.
anonymousness or anonymity when doing transactions. So the thing is, you have your wallet, you know you are the owner of the wallet. Once you have the knowledge and you know how to operate it, you will actually prefer to remain anonymous. So you cannot just someone cannot just take your wallet and send money to it except they have your something they call passphrase to log into your wallet. So it's to a very good extent very secure. However, there are the cases of scams, there are the cases of hackers as well. You understand? But with good knowledge, you are able to protect your wallet just as you're able to protect your bank account.
Yeah, so with what you have said, you have mentioned knowledge several times, and I'm also looking at time. I'll make this the last question, or maybe second to the last. I feel that there's a knowledge gap in that industry. There's a need for more people to be aware of how they can protect themselves, how they can use it. At least when they test with little amount of money and it's safe, they can now proceed in, using it for their business. So for people that are just stumbling on this video or people that will probably be watching this later, how best can they look for or search for knowledge around blockchain?
Okay, so one way is you have already crossed one way by watching this video to this point. So other things you can look out for are blockchain events. I understand there's an event in October. Is it October? Um, I can't remember the October 11 or thereabout. It's about I cannot remember, but there's a very large blockchain conference that is happening in October. And there are several that have held this year. There's one for stable coins, anything relating to blockchain Web3. Just try and attend. You will get to at least over time when you attend sessions like that, your mind will be open and we understand the Bitcoin space more. Also, you can watch YouTube videos. There are a lot of YouTube videos you can learn from. The question now is, do you have the discipline to sit down and watch them? Do you understand? And then you can identify someone who has um, traceable results. Do you understand? Because there are so many crypto blockchain teachers now. Do you understand? But someone who has traceable results, tangible results that you can refer to, and who has a course that is going to train you, then you learn from them.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I think that's
So
very simple.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm doing Blockchain Realtor Academy for realtors who want to understand how blockchain and AI is going to affect the real estate industry or is affecting the real estate industry and how they can stay relevant over time, even in the next 10, 50 years.
Awesome. So talking about that, how can people be part of what the blockchain realtor training?
Okay, currently the registration is closed, but we have the Blockchain Realtor community that is open. So if someone wants to join, I don't know if I can drop my number in the chat box or um, a way to
Okay,
reach
just
to
tell
join.
us how to reach out to you. Just say it so that they can
Okay, so
pick it up.
where my number is, so they can reach out to you, and then you can now give them the direction
How about on
to
social
reach
media?
us.
Is there a way they can reach out to you also?
Okay, my social media handle is at Blockchain Realtor or at Joe Terhile, depending on the platform,
Awesome.
at Blockchain Realtor
Awesome.
or at Joe Terhile.
All right, thank you so much. I believe that we cannot fully unpack what blockchain is all about on this video. We just wanted to open it up. That's why we called it Unlocking Blockchain, how simple business. And you have mentioned that simple or small business owners can start using it for payments, can start using it for documentation. Then having enough knowledge about how blockchain works will also open them up to many more ways they can use blockchain. And you also demystify a misconception, which I think that most people have, which is that blockchain is not the same thing as Bitcoin. Bitcoin uses blockchain for transaction, and it's a very powerful, platform. All right. Because of time, I would allow you now. Probably we would have another session on blockchain and perhaps a much more advanced session on blocking. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you very much as well.
So, what will be your parting word to our audience?
So my parting words is seek knowledge, especially in the blockchain space. Blockchain, AI, and I always say virtual reality, especially metaverse, is going to be the future. People don't see it now, they don't believe it, but let me say it again. Blockchain, AI, and virtual reality is the future of every industry. Start finding ways to understand it and position yourself ahead. And for more, you can join the Blockchain Realtor community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate your time. All right, we'll catch up later. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too.